Now to our NBC News investigation. Disturbing allegations that foreign workers at some U.S. military bases overseas are the victims of human trafficking. Our report, produced in collaboration with the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, the Washington Post, and Arab Reporters for Investigative Journalism. Here's Courtney Kube.
They're America's beacons around the globe, U.S. military bases where our troops serve thousands of miles away from home. But these bases are also homes away from home for another group of people, thousands of low-paid employees like these, who take the bus from crowded living quarters to work in kitchens and clean the barracks on base.
We are human beings. We are not robots, right?
Abdullah, who wanted his identity concealed for his safety, worked for a Saudi contractor called Tamimi Global that has been awarded $250 million by the U.S. military since 2007. From a rural village in Bangladesh, Abdullah said he and his mother took out loans to pay thousands of dollars to a recruiter working for Tamimi in the hopes that a job in Kuwait could help his family back home.
They told me face to face. They said 200 KD for a month, accommodation free, food free, everything free.
But when he got to the U.S. Army base in Kuwait in 2016, instead of the promise of $680 a month, he said he was paid less than half that.
They said now only 40 KD is contract, this is signed.
He also says the company took his passport so he could not go home. Charging recruitment fees, underpaying workers, and withholding their passports all violate the U.S. government's zero-tolerance policy when it comes to labor trafficking.
They didn't get any days off. They worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, for like 3 years.
Army contracting officer LaGrace Roberts Harvey oversaw Tamimi's cafeteria contracts in Kuwait during the 2 years Abdullah worked there. She was terminated in 2018.
It was really terrible that they have to leave their country, come to another country, get mistreated, and still not be able to take care of your family.
A U.S. Army investigation concluded there was enough evidence to ban Tamimi for labor trafficking violations in 2017, but instead of a ban, the Army imposed a monitoring agreement. And last year, the Pentagon awarded Tamimi another contract for $10 million. In a statement to NBC News, Tamimi said it is proud of its partnership with the U.S., complies with rules to combat trafficking, and cares deeply for their staff. The statement said, "We do everything we can to avoid improper recruitment practices and no longer hold passports for safekeeping." The Pentagon's own investigators found 176 violations of labor trafficking rules by military contractors in the last 5 years. But the Pentagon would not disclose the names of those companies that trafficked workers.
The way that they're treated is similar to what some might call modern-day slavery.
Letitia Love from the Government Accountability Office examined how the military tracks labor trafficking. She found the Pentagon is supposed to enter violations into a database other agencies can see, but did not put in a single entry for 5 years.
Which means we are entering into contracts, potentially with risky partners, without knowing it.
Did DOD just drop the ball here?
They did.
So while DOD was not prioritizing this, who was suffering?
The victims of forced labor. The other thing that really frustrates me, our taxpayer dollars are being used potentially to support forced labor and human trafficking, and that's just unacceptable.
In a statement to NBC News, the Pentagon said they continue to work diligently on combating human trafficking because these activities violate human rights and harm our national security mission.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.